Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, worshippers of all ages, welcome to YouTube. My name is SeaRaptor, and today we're bringing you a battle report from the bridge of Tier 6 British cruiser HMS Leander. For those of you that don't watch me on Twitch, a couple of Sundays ago, I decided I would dip my toes into this whole research bureau thing, and for my first attempt at it, I resold and have been regrinding the British cruiser line. That's where some of the Emerald and Leander replays you watched earlier this week, possibly on the channel, came from, and that's where this one comes from. I had been doing some of this on the channel, but I decided to play a Leander game on my own time, without being streaming, and, well, this is the result. Spawning here on the northern side of Standard Battle on Strait. Now, what I'll typically do, especially in a light cruiser like this, in a standard battle, is that I will tend to stick near my cap circle. Certainly in the early going, I want to see how the game evolves, see how it develops. I just don't trust my team. I don't trust, an enemy destroyer to not just drive right through the middle of the map, right onto my cap circle early. So I will tend to play pretty close right around here. Leander, of course, the Tier 6 cruiser, a bit of a paradigm shift from the earlier ships in the line. You used to, if you're playing the British cruisers up to this point, you have single-barreled turrets. Leander, for the first time now, moves up to double-barrel turrets. She has 4 of these, but still with the same 6-inch guns that you're used to firing from previous ships in the line. British AP shells, of course, these light cruiser shells have improved penetration angles and auto-bounce angles, so she can get really good damage against even-angled targets, especially lighter targets like this Modification. He spots me. My detection is about 8, little less than 9, and I start in on him as we go ahead and smoke up here in the cap circle, so that we can start farming this guy and just leeching him for damage, basically. I mean, I'm a little irritated I'm not getting citadels, but I'm still getting a lot of full pins into his upper works there. I misjudge his turn. I think he's turned out, but in fact he's turned in. I didn't look at the mini-map, so that's my mistake for not reading the situation correctly. So I had a couple bad salvos there, but I eventually get it corrected and get things moving. Now he does turn in here, which is a little inexplicable to me. He's in his own smoke, his fuel smoke, which allows him to keep moving, but he has no way to spot me in my own smoke unless I fire out of it. In my own smoke, my detection radius when I fire my gun balloon is about 4.5 clicks. So if he's inside of that, he'll spot me. Outside of that, he won't. I kind of dumped the torpedo spread out there, thinking that maybe he'll stumble into it. He is continuing to move. And I could be farming the Fuso. I don't. Instead, there's the Alba right behind him, trying to leech off of his smoke a little bit. So we start in on the Alba. Broadside to me like this, he's also an easy target. Just trying to get full pins as the Montecuccoli does pop out of his smoke here. And lo and behold, look at this, we have Minakaze torpedoes coming in. As I pull the trigger here, he can spot me in my smoke. We kill the Alba with one of the torpedoes that wasn't even meant for him. As my smoke's not doing me any good, this Montecuccoli's pushed up way too quickly, way too aggressively in my opinion. One more salvo, I gotta get this guy off the board. I don't want to eat these SAP shells. They'll do bad things to me. And bam. Just like that. 3.5 minutes gone, 2 kills. I mean, feels good. Now, we know the Minakaze is lurking around somewhere. He's probably playing up along the E line where he can just throw torpedoes into our cap circle and make a general nuisance of himself. It's possible I could have pushed down in the middle to chase him, but there's 2 Ismails down there. You can see him on the minimap, down on the F and the G line. Plus the Okhotnik. I don't want to take that much damage this early, certainly not with my smoke down. So, I'm going to run back north for a bit. I've decided I'm going to pitch in a little bit and help my team deal with the Britannia and the Fuso off to our north, which again have not slowed down or turned around 1 iota. They are continuing to push us. You see there, those Minakaze torps were dropped from close by, so he's probably somewhere on the E line. Outside of my detection, obviously outside of his detection, I can't spot him, but he's obviously close enough to spot me. There's the Okhotnik and the Ismail. So, I turn back north. The Britannia's looking somewhere else. Always a good thing for me. Going to leave him a torpedo present. My torpedoes are 8 kilometers, so he's out of range right now, but he's sailing towards me. So if he turns, I led those a bit thinking he was going to turn more due east. We'll see what he does. If he turns south, then those are going to miss. I get a couple of salvos onto this guy, thinking, why not? But then I kind of look at the map. I look at the Fuso, and I realize, you know what? That Fuso's actually a much better shot. It's a better angle for me to be hitting that guy. So, we cut back into the cap circle. There's the Minakaze. The Alba's picked him up. He is on the E line. As we get back into the cap, as we start dropping shells onto this Fuso. Smoke up, because now I'm going to do what, like, every British cruiser driver wants to do, right? Which is get somebody else to spot while I sit in my little smoke cloud, and I just happily, merrily farm damage off of a broadside battleship or cruiser that they can spot, but can't spot me in return. Now, I'm not getting big salvos on this guy. A couple of pens there for 8k. It's only 1,000 there. So I feel like I should be doing better. But I also look at the minimap and realize the Britannia is really the bigger threat. The Fuso's not even paying attention to me, whereas the Britannia is right here. Like, he could potentially just push right into my smoke if he wanted. Alba uses my smoke for cover here. Good use there as he leaves some torpedoes as he turns back towards the east. As I'm also going to leave this guy a bit of a present, as I start in on him as well. Gotta stay frosty for the Modification. My Hydra's down for the moment. It's not back up just yet, but we really got to get this Britannia off the board. He's he's in a really bad position for me and this Alba. The Alba's done a really good job with this torpedo salvo. I'm landing some solid hits here. I'm a little surprised the Alba's not firing HE at him. That's what I would be doing in his shoes. As he is going to take one of the Japanese torpedoes amidships from the Alba. And he kills the Alba, unfortunately. But it also looks as if I'm going to land one as well. He's flooding. He puts out the flood there as my torpedoes close in on him. He's trying to heal, but it's not going to matter. Timing is bad, and he's out. Now, I'm a little more interested in dealing with this Modification. You see the Ismail. There's an Ismail that's cut through the gap there on the F line, as now I have the Modification locked up on Hydro. He's wandered a little too close to the cap, and it looks like, yep, he's coming in. It's a bit of an awkward engagement for me. I'm only going to have my forward guns available because I'm going to have to turn to face this guy to try and put my bow on and dodge his torpedo salvos. So I'm only going to have a couple of guns. I flex my torpedoes, my port torpedoes into this engagement, figuring he's going to want to go wide to get all his torpedoes into action against me. I'll juggle my throttle here a bit as I manage to thread the needle perfectly and torpedo a Modification. Oh yeah, it always feels good when you can torpedo a Japanese torpedo boat. Give them a little taste of their own medicine. 7.5 minutes gone. 4 kills. Just play in defense. So now, it's like, well, New York could use my help. I'll do what I can here. It's a bit long for me. The range of this ship is only 13 and change, and that's, he's out there at 12. I'm not sure what I'm going to get out of these salvos. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of non-pens, a lot of 0 damage hits. But we've already lost 7 ships. In less than 8 minutes, 7 of my team are dead. Yay, random battles. It's alright, we're not out of this yet. I'm going to work on this Fuso. The Queen Elizabeth is still here to help me. The Ranger, to his credit, is continuing to focus on the battleships to his south. So his focus is in the right place. I'm just trying to land whatever pens I can get out of this guy. Now, this British AP at this range, plunging down through his deck, I'm getting the occasional decent hit, but I'm also getting a whole lot of non-pens and torpedo bulge hits. Fuso ignored me for a little bit. Now he takes a pot shot. I kind of turn into it here, and he still lands a few of these shells, a couple of full pens, about 7,000. I can heal back about 4 or 5 of that, so I'm not super concerned. But I am going to burn smoke number 3 here so that I can continue to farm him. This guy needs to die. We have to get him off the board. He's basically into our backfield. We have to kill him. We cannot just leave him back there to do whatever he wants, especially not a battleship who can eventually just push a heal button and return with 10,000 more HP. Smoke screen set. Luckily, I know it. The Queen Elizabeth knows it. We're both trying to kill this guy. Sooner or later, one of us is going to bag him. I'm just really struggling with these shells right now. Luckily, the QE has my back, and he takes care of the problem. So now I kind of kick back and I look at the mini-map and kind of see where we are. We're now down 2 ships. We're upside down on points, health, and ships. This looks really bad. The Ismail down on about I-9 or so, continuing to come under assault from either the Fushun or our carrier, as the Ismail in the middle of the map is now starting to draw a little bit of the carrier's attention as well. Our Ranger is maybe not in the best position, but he's not playing a bad game. He's doing what he can, but the team down south folded so fast. There's only so much he can do. What I'm trying to do now is, my thought is, all right, I need to get torpedoes. I've got to flex my torpedo armament and get it into the game on this Ismail. Where is he going? So I've got my torpedoes locked onto him just because my goal is to try and figure out where he's turning. He looks like he's going to turn east. Now he's turning north. What I realize is he can see the Ranger. He's trying to get a salvo on the Ranger. That's why he's selling the farm to turn back north for a bit. There's the salvo coming in right there, and bam, the Ranger does take a couple of good hits. Several good hits there, actually. But it does mean that the Ismail is going to ground himself, so he's not going anywhere. The planes, however, do pick up the Leander in the middle of the map. The Ismail is basically stuck. He's going to have to get himself oriented. So I'm at a point now where, I want to put my torpedoes onto that guy, but he's in a position I can't do much. I'm not going to charge him in this thing. It's too fragile. So now I'm kind of like, all right, well, what are you going to do? Well, without planes to see you, I can't judge your movements, as the Ismail down south finally bags our Ranger. Now that is a huge loss for us. We needed the spotting. We needed the flexibility. Now he's not going out without a fight, though. He still has planes in the air, and the Ismail down south is quite low. We can see him there. It looks like he's burning or flooding and healing all at the same time. The Fushun's trying to kill him. Our carrier's trying to bomb him. I think they are finally going to bag that guy. As I push up, I got to figure out where this Leander is. They do kill... Okay, the Queen Elizabeth behind me does finally bag the Ismail. There's the Leander. We're kind of counter-spotting each other. What is this guy going to do? He's going to turn north. He's going to smoke and turn north. All right, let's leave him a parting salvo, but he can't spot for himself, not at that range. He needs planes to do it. Get a decent salvo, pick up a Confederate. I take a little bit of damage there, but the thing about Leander is, I mean, her dispersion is not amazing. Landing 3 or 4 citadels in one salvo is pretty tough. Landing 2, you can do. Landing 3, I wasn't concerned. Now, I start to realize at this point, they're actually playing down a ship. Look at the minimap. That Alba, back in H2, hasn't moved at all this game. He is AFK. We are catching glimpses of this Ismail here. I'm not sure how, but I'm seeing him kind of moving. He is committing now to coming through this gap on the EF line, coming back through to the 7-8 line, kind of coming to our backfield here. Leander spots me again. Not much I can do about it. I basically am going to have to leave him to the Queen Elizabeth, as the QE takes a shot and does put in a good citadel. Definitely gets a chunk out of him. I make a bit of a mistake here with the single launch torpedoes. Earlier, when the Britannia was close charging me, I went with the widespread torps, basically because I wanted to land at least one. Here, I kind of sell out. I really need all of these to land, so I put them in, kind of a narrow grouping there, hoping to land them all. But the trick is it's a high risk, high reward. If he dodges these, I'm going to land none of them. I would have been better served to go for the widespread and just try to land any of them. He's inside my detection. This guy hard spots me. I'm waiting for my port torpedoes to load. There they go. Now I'm thinking, all right, he's going to come. He's going to stick close to the island, maybe swing out a bit. So I kind of cut those back inside. But spoiler alert, that's not a very good salvo either. I'm not going to land any of those torpedoes. So now I do the only thing I can. I have to basically smoke and hope for the best. This engagement here with the Ismail is going to make or break whether or not we can win this game. So pay attention, guys. Watch how we pull this off. He makes a mistake, and I play this basically as best as I can. I smoke up. He cannot spot me, but the Fushun to the south is my spotter, so I know exactly where he is at all times. I know, again, 4.5 kilometers or so. Inside of that, I cannot fire my guns or he'll spot me inside my smoke. So that's the point at which I have to stop firing. I'm waiting for my starboard torpedoes to reload. I'm under 10 seconds now, and I'm probably going to fire one more salvo for the guns just because why not? I mean, it's chip damage. I might get a little something decent here, but alas, not very much. So now, my secondaries can continue to fire without revealing me in smoke. He's continuing to charge my smoke. This is his mistake. I can still see him. The Fushun was spotting him. Now at 4 kilometers, I have him on Hydra. Even if the Fushun loses him, which he does, Fushun goes behind an island, I still have him lit on Hydro. I'm waiting until about he gets inside of 3, and then I'm going to use the single fire torps. I have to get this guy off the board, or I have to at least do a tremendous amount of damage. He still doesn't know where I am. He can't see me. He's not until 2 kilometers can he see me in the smoke. 2.1, he still can't see me as I pop my British acceleration, and immediately I am out of there. We do land 3 of the torpedoes. That's huge. 4 would have killed him. Unfortunately, I wasn't that lucky. He still doesn't know where I am as I turn out of the smoke and I finally open up to start putting full pins into his casemate. A 4K salvo there. His secondaries light me on fire. A 6K salvo there. He's trying to get his guns around, but one more salvo like that and I'll have him. But the QE solves the problem for me. So, now we've caught back up on ships. Well, technically, they're still playing. They're down a ship, because remember, the Alba's AFK. Technically, all they have left is the Leander and the Ranger. The Fushun has come all the way north. At the time, I was a little salty about this. I don't say anything in chat, but in my brain, I'm thinking, dude, why are you not in their cap circle? At the same time, there's still a carrier in this game. So, and he's kind of low, so he has to be a little cagey about how he plays this. So I kind of understand his positioning here. Unfortunately, with 4 minutes to play, we're still upside down on points, despite having managed to claw back on kills. We have to get a kill, or step onto their cap circle and slow down their points gain long enough to get a lead. And so, I decide, to hell with it, we have to take some risks. I'm going to push right through the middle of the map and go to their cap circle. Maybe, if the Alba's still AFK when I get there, that'll be a free kill. But that's, several minutes away. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch. The QE is doing everything he can, but the trick is that right now the Ranger is spotting for the Leander. The Leander's in smoke. The Ranger's planes are continuing to bomb this poor guy, and all he can do is just take it. There's nothing he can do while the Leander is in his smoke cloud. He has to get closer, and as we just saw, pushing a Leander in smoke can possibly be detrimental to your health. We also don't know where the Ranger is. We haven't spotted him in a while. He was last seen, you can see there on the mini-map. Oh, I was just saying something. There he is. Now that is a bit of a disadvantageous position for him, because he's broadside to me, and the QE can pen him from pretty much any bloody angle we want. See there, the QE gets a good salvo into him. I start to get good full pens into him, because Ranger's armor scheme means that she eats full pens and citadels from a lot of different ships, as I was saying. So I can farm this guy for a good chunk of damage. The QE can absolutely farm this guy for a good chunk of damage. Leander's out of smoke now. Again, I have to leave him to the QE. The QE needs to deal with that guy. I'm going to stay on this Ranger as the Ranger decides, I look tasty, and here come the torpedo planes. The Leander is actually an easier kill for me, so I decide, yeah, I need to swap to him. The Ranger's coming in for a drop. We focus. I've got shells out. The QE gets a big hit, and bam! Kraken. That always feels good. Ranger blows this salvo. I got to come back to port, because no matter what happens with the carrier, I am continuing near this cap circle. We have a lead now. 2.5 minutes to play, but I cannot trust my team to not die, make a mistake, or maybe the carrier could get a detonation or just still sink one. I don't know. I'm not risking it. He is going to land one of these torpedoes on my stern, but aerial torpedoes, it's only 3 or 4K. I've still got a heal. I feel okay. I'm not super upset just yet. Here, Leander's a bit salty about the AFK Alba, and I would be in their shoes as well, because that Alba could have made a huge difference, and him being AFK is actually going to end up making a big difference in this game. He drops that one too close, and I managed to steam in front of it just before it arms. No dice. Now, the Ranger is getting pretty low. The QE is continuing to beat up on him as he's trying to run south. I have no shot, of course. There's an island in my way. And the Ranger knows that basically it's him or this battleship at this point. He has to kill that QE if he wants to stay in the game. Fushun, north of me, ran aground. Has no shots on the Ranger. Can't do anything but try to fix his position. So me, I'm all in on this cap circle. We have a lead, yes, but again, 90 seconds to play. You've heard my mantra before. It's randoms. Don't trust your team, man. Don't trust your team. If you can do anything to impact the outcome of the battle, get on it, make it happen. Don't rely on them. I'm really looking for a shot on this Ranger, because 1,000 HP, but the QE makes that problem go away. Excellent. I'm about to step onto their cap. 160-point lead, but the QE still has planes out, so that could still go badly for our battleship. I look for a torpedo shot, but he's still out of my range, and I'm like, you know what? Nah. Let's just cut back to starboard, flip the stern guns now that the Ranger's out of the game, and get on this guy's broadside and citadel him off the board. I got 50 seconds. I got to do about 20,000 damage. I think I can manage this. Even if the QE dies, we should still be okay on points. It's looking like that might happen. He's very, very low. And yeah, the Ranger does get him. But that's the Ranger's last plane salvo. The Alba's out. I mean, the Alba's not here. We're up on points. This should be a win. So, time ticking away. I'm just here for the farming damage. Like, if you're going to go AFK and give me free damage, I mean, I'm not going to turn that down. Let's make this happen. But the game at this point is essentially won. So, this game, easily my best game in Leander ever. Like, it's not even close. 192,000 damage, 6 kills, and yeah, really, really solid game. So, why am I showing you this one? Well, we had some requests for Leander games. That was one. The other is just kind of give you a sense of how the British cruiser line plays, especially in a standard battle. I like to stick close to my cap for a while, let the enemy screw up, make some mistakes, and then push myself into a position in the mid to late game where I can be useful. And that's how it worked out here. Doesn't always work out, depending on how your team does or doesn't die, but that gives you a little taste of how Leander plays. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for watching. Be safe out there, and I'll catch you next time.